Steve Stivers. Steve for the numeral 4, Congress.com is his website. Please go and visit all these gentlemen's websites. It takes a lot of effort to get a website up and running. Stivers was a young lad, not the youngest, but 45 years of age. He was born in Ohio. He's a graduate of Ohio State University, a Bachelor of Arts degree and an MBA. He's a current member of the Ohio National Guard, holding the rank of Lieutenant Colonel, veteran of Operation Iraqi Freedom. He's been the Ohio State Senator from the 16th District for 5 years. He's currently a self-employed business consultant here in Central Ohio. He also was the candidate for the last election cycle that ran against Mary Jo Kilroy. A 2,000 vote separated him from Congress. So, every vote counts. Last but not least is the youngest lad. He's a member of the Constitution Party, David Ryan. It's Ryan, R-Y-O-N, for Congress.com. You may want to hold your applause when you hear where he's born, Flint, Michigan, but we won't hold that against him tonight. He gets a pass. He's a veteran of the United States Army. He ran for Congress in the 12th Congressional District last cycle. And he's a graduate of Central State University with honors. So, gentlemen, thank you for being here tonight. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it over to the rules of engagement are real simple. We're going to allow 10 minutes for opening statements from each candidate. You do not have to take the full 10 minutes. If you want to conserve time, that gives us the opportunity to ask more questions. So, my suggestion is that be as pithy as possible. We will then move to a rapid fire sort of. I kind of characterize it as an hors d'oeuvre session. Well, I'm going to put a question in front of each of the candidates, and it's a one-word answer. Then we'll move to some questions and these questions all emanated from the 912 staff, and I'm going to be reading them just as they wrote them. There's some pretty good questions there. And so, we'll move on. Now, we've added an element to help keep the candidates on clock, and you won't have to look at it, but they can. There is a light device back in the corner. Could you flip on the green light, please? That is when your answer time is. You candidates see green, talk away. You have 30 seconds when the yellow light comes on to make your summations. Pretty cute, huh? I liked it. It worked in 2006 and to meet the candidates. It kept them all on pace. When the red light comes in, that means you're done. If it's blinking, a shepherd's staff will come out and drag you off stage. So please be respectful of the clock, because the object here, as we interview these job applicants for a job as a U.S. Congress, and in all likelihood, I think I can say this. One of these three gentlemen stands a very good chance of becoming the next congressman of the United States. I'm betting on it. So anyway, what the idea here is to get to know these gentlemen better, to find out who amongst this group is best qualified, best prepared, has the best database, and understands the issues of our times, so that we can have the kind of representation that we all know we deserve. I know I deserve it. I think you do too. So, without further ado, let's just start down at the end with the youngest lad and work our way up to the more seasoned candidate. And you have up to 10 minutes, David.
I don't know, John. How do you feel about being called seasoned? Seasoned. My name is David Ryan. I am the Constitution Party candidate for Congress in the 15th Congressional District. I am a pro-life candidate, extremely conception till natural death. I do, just real quickly, if she wouldn't mind standing up, my wife came with me this evening, and I'd like to introduce you. This is my wife, Julie. And, we also brought another guest. When she stood up, you probably didn't see him or her, but she is going on 16 weeks now. 16 weeks pregnant. Actually, the due date is July 25th. And it's very interesting because our first baby, Kaylee, her birthday is July 25th. So apparently we're very consistent. July must be a good month for us. But all kidding aside, like I said, I'm here to run for Congress. I believe I am definitely the constitutional conservative choice in this race currently. Many of you who have met me before know that I support states' rights and that there's no need for states to have to pass resolutions to reaffirm their 10th Amendment rights. I mean, basically, there's a process that we can use called nullification. We can ignore the federal government if we wish. They have no right to be involved in anything other than Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution. And that's what I'm here to do, is to provide that kind of candidacy to the 15th District. And I will turn the mic over to Senator Stivers.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Steve Stivers, and I thought I'd tell you a little bit about who I am and why I'm running for Congress. Before I get started, though, I want to recognize my wife, Karen, who's in the audience tonight. Karen's not only the love of my life, she's an inspiration to me and the smartest person I know. So I'm glad she's here with me, and really appreciate her support during the campaign. We had a daughter in September, and we didn't feel like we should bring Sarah tonight because her bedtime's at 7:30. So she's at home with Grandma and Grandpa and probably in bed by now. Yeah. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about where I came from and why I decided to run for Congress. I grew up in a little town in southern Ohio, a town called Ripley, Ohio, a town of about 2,500 people. And it was in Ripley where my mom and dad really instilled the values of hard work and integrity and perseverance in myself and my sister and brother. And those are the values that I hope to instill, and Karen and I hope to instill in our daughter Sarah. And I've lived those values ever since I was an 11-year-old paper boy, delivering papers after school to Cincinnati Post, if anybody grew up in southern Ohio. And that was an afternoon paper. I lived those values when I was center fielder on the baseball team, when I was only batting about 200, and I kept working at it and kept getting better. I lived those values when I worked my way through college, and when I went back to night school to get a master's in business administration. Obviously, those values have helped me throughout my entire life. They've been really important and reinforced in me in my 24 years in the military, and I can't tell you how important they were when I served overseas in Operation Iraqi Freedom.